the meeting. So I record every single class that we do in Bio A and all my classes that I teach, and then post it on the Google Classroom a couple minutes after class ends. I've heard from a lot of students that they really like it. They find it super helpful if they want to go back and review some of the material a little bit later on. Or if you miss it the first time and you want to go back and see it again in person, then it's up there for you to watch whenever you have the chance. So speaking of our Google Classroom, let's go ahead and take a look there right now. Make sure I got the right thing going on here. All right, can everybody see our Google Classroom home screen okay?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Randy. So here is sort of the homepage for Biology A with Mr. Stanley this term. Google calls it the stream. This is where any announcements for the class will get posted. These are also the announcements that get sent directly to your email, as well as any updates on assignments or notes that'll get posted over the course of the week. So I'll try to post on here at least once a day. Either on Tuesday, Thursdays, it'll be a reminder that this class is about to start, and I'll post that reminder with the link so that you can click it and hop right in to the meeting. On Mondays and Wednesdays, since we don't have a meeting, I'll post a reminder, usually sometime in the early afternoon, to make sure to log on and do your daily assignment so that you can get the attendance for that day. So if you keep an eye on your email, and you keep an eye on the Google Classroom, you should be all caught up with everything that you need for this class. So probably the most important tab on the Google Classroom is the classwork tab. So it's split up into a couple different sections. We have the syllabus for the class, which is posted in this sort of beginning section. The recordings of our classes that I'm taking will get posted in this class recordings section. And so I'll post right after class is over, I upload the recording to YouTube and then post the link to that video in the class recording topic down here. And then finally, we have our weeks kind of separated out by topic. This is the first week. And so a lot of you have already done the first couple assignments that involve sending me an email or sending me a text message. And then the only notes that we're really going to look at this week is this kind of little introduction slideshow that I made right here. All right, if you see me looking off to the left a lot in the video, it's because I'm in my classroom right now, and so I have the big screen with my presentation and stuff up on it. So sometimes I'll look up there to make sure that I'm seeing the right thing as you guys are seeing. So welcome to Biology A. We are at, oh, this is not right anymore. We're not in 2020 anymore, thank goodness. We have all made it to 2021. And then it's posted a whole bunch of different places around the classroom. But here is another area that I've posted my email, michael.stanley@goodwillexcel.org. That's one of the best ways to get in touch with me. I'm on my email pretty consistently whenever I'm working. And even when I'm not working, I have my work email sent to my phone so that I can occasionally check in and see if there are any questions that have come up. I might not be able to respond to your email right away, depending especially on what time of day you send it. If you send me an email at 11:30 p.m., Mr. Stanley is not checking his work email at 11:30 p.m. So you're probably going to have to wait until the next morning to see that email. But I do guarantee that I will get back to you within 24 hours with an answer, hopefully, to your question. So today I want to kind of tell you guys a little bit about me. I recognize a lot of you from previous classes or previous years at the Excel Center, but a lot of you are new to me at least. And so I wanted to kind of say, hey, with that, I'll talk about a kind of reminder of some of the important class policies, especially around attendance and turning in work. And then we'll talk a little bit about what kind of stuff we're going to talk about in this course. So my name is Michael Stanley. You can call me Mr. Stanley, Mr. Michael. Some people just say Mr., and it seems to work. I actually grew up here in Austin. I grew up in North Austin, if you know, around like the Anderson Mills 620 area. That's where I am from. So I grew up here. I went to school here. I ended up going to Texas A&M for my college degree. And then after that, I was a weird person who said, I just finished school, but do you know what I want to do now? Even more school. So I ended up getting into a graduate program in Southwestern Ohio at Miami University, not the one that you're thinking of. You're thinking of the University of Miami. That's different. That's the one that's in Florida and is surrounded by beaches. Miami University is in Ohio and it's surrounded by cornfields. Not quite as exciting. So I like my time in Ohio. I developed my appreciation for teaching there. I graduated from school with my master's degree in biology. And probably most importantly, I met the person who would eventually become my wife there. So we got married in 2018. And then about a year later, we both decided to move to Austin, back here to Austin. I was ready to move back home because I don't know if you guys have ever been in the Midwest during the winter time, but it's just too cold, you guys. It's too cold up there. It's freezing. It snows and ices all the time, which is fun for like 10 minutes, but then it gets in your ankles, it gets in your wrist. It's all cold and wet and freezing. Your nose hurts, your fingers hurt, your toes hurt. It's not fun. And winter lasts like forever, from like October to April, essentially. You're lucky if you get like 3 or 4 sunny days in a row. It's gray and cloudy and cold. And I was ready to move back to the heat and the niceness and the good food that we have here in Austin. So we moved back here about a year and a half ago in the summer of 2019. And another benefit of moving back here is we were able to move really close to my parents, which is super helpful because a couple months after we moved back is when our daughter was born. So little baby Charlotte was born right before I started teaching here at the Excel Center, actually, in that summer of 2019. And so she celebrated her first birthday this year. So we hired a photographer and got some nice pictures taken. And then she just recently, a couple weeks ago, celebrated her second Christmas, which now that she's like walking around and can actually sit up and do stuff was a little more exciting than the first. And so we did run into the unfortunate circumstance, though, that the first present that she got ended up being her favorite present. Is a little Blues Clues handy dandy notebook down here. And she loved it so much that she then was uninterested in opening any of her other presents. So we had to take away her present so that she could open her other presents. And so she was mad at us for a couple minutes until we distracted her with pretty wrapping paper and all that good stuff. And so we're doing good. We just recently, my wife's parents came down to visit us for this Christmas, which was a lot of fun. But now we're all kind of ready to get back to normal, as it were. So that's a little bit of me. Hopefully, I am not just a science teacher. I'm also a person who is very happy to be back here and living in Austin. Oops. All right, so in this class, this is Bio A, the first credit of biology. So biology is all about the study of living things. So in this class, we're going to look at the makeup of plants and animals, the cells and molecules that go into building an organism. We're going to talk about energy flow, how it moves between different parts of an ecosystem, what goes into making an ecosystem, how different species interact with each other in their natural environment. Why do certain things look different and act differently than other things? All of that is kind of under the umbrella of biology. And in biology A, we're going to focus on ecosystems, food webs, bacterial cells, plant and animal cells, and how cells grow and divide and make more of themselves. So a couple of the major classroom policies that I wanted to kind of remind you guys of as we get ready to start term 3 here. So at the Excel Center, you are required to attend 80% of the days of your class in order to earn credit for the course. If you don't attend at 80%, then you will not be allowed to get that credit for the course. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when we're having these Google Meet classes, you're expected to attend every day that you are able. So I know that everybody is living their own lives. There's a whole bunch of stuff that comes up throughout the week or throughout the month. But if you are able, then please, please, please log on and join up in this class. You're more than welcome to keep your microphone muted and your camera off, but being here and going through the notes with me and seeing how I explain stuff will help you a lot when it comes to getting through all the material that we're going to cover. So on the days that we do not meet as a class, so on Monday and Wednesday, you're still required to log on to your Google Classroom and complete a daily assignment. So every single day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a new assignment is going to be posted on the Google Classroom, and you can finish that assignment in order to get your attendance credit for that day. So please be sure to keep up with your daily assignments and your attendance. If you ever have questions about your attendance, or you want to know how many days that you've missed, or you see that I marked you absent on a day you were present, please reach out to me, email me, text me, let me know, and I can look into it for you. You can check your attendance by logging on to your Skyward account. If you aren't sure how to log on to Skyward or you forgot your password, reach out to your life coach and they can definitely help you with that. So in term 3, I ran the numbers, and the magical 80% number is 5. You will not earn credit for this class if you have more than 5 absences. So last term, I had a couple unfortunate incidents with students who they did really well in the class, and they turned in all their assignments and got a passing grade, but they missed 7, 8, 9 days of class. And because of that, even though they passed the class, they still were denied credit because they had too many absences. So make sure you're checking into your Google Classroom, doing that daily assignment, and coming to your Tuesday, Thursday classes as often as you can. All right, anybody have any questions about attendance policies, how to get attendance, and what to do to make sure that you get all the attendance that you need? All right, thanks, Maria. Sounds like everybody is good with that so far. So say something happens, you do miss a day, 1 or 2 days here or there. And so you didn't do a couple daily assignments and now they're late. That is okay. It's not the end of the world, I promise. You do have to go in and check and make sure that you're staying up to date with your assignments. And if you do miss a couple days, it's your responsibility to go back and see what assignments that you missed. As long as you get your assignment turned in to me, That is the main thing that I care about. So I'm not going to take points off if it's late, if it's a couple days late or a couple weeks late. I honestly don't really care. I'm more concerned that you get it turned in to me. So if you miss a couple days here or there, please go back and complete your assignment and get it turned in. Every single daily assignment in this class counts for a grade. So any missing assignments are going to go in as a 0 in the grade book, and a 0 can very, very quickly drop your grade way, way down, including dropping it from passing to failing with just a couple missing assignments. So make sure you get your stuff turned in on time when you're able. And if you're a little bit late, that's okay. Just make sure that you get it turned in at some point so that I can give you a grade for completing it. The one thing that I want to mention with this is that most of the assignments in this class you can do on your own time, meaning that if you miss it, it's fine if you take a couple days to work on it and get it turned in, but it only counts for attendance the day that you turn it in. So say you missed Monday and Tuesday, you haven't done those assignments, and then you turn Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's assignments all in together on Wednesday, you only get attendance credit for Wednesday. You missed Monday and Tuesday, so you are absent for those days. There's no way to go back and change that. So that's why I say make sure to stay up on your daily assignments as best you can, because that is the best way to make sure you're getting attendance credit every single day of the week. So what can you do to make sure that you're staying on top of your work and turning it in? There are a couple different ways that you can complete the work in this class. Pretty much all of it is in the form of notes and handouts and assignments and quizzes on the Google Classroom. So if I do post an assignment like a worksheet, there's a couple different ways to finish it. All assignments will be posted in some sort of online form, definitely a Google Doc, and usually a Google form. People who have taken online classes with me, you'll remember that most assignments have the 2 different versions that you can do. So you can fill out those one of those 2 versions and turn that in on the classroom. That works. If you're one of those people that doesn't really like doing online work on the computer, you feel a lot more comfortable doing the old school pen and paper method, you can definitely do that as well. You can either, if you have a printer at home, you can print out and fill in the assignment on your own. You can also write down your answers on a piece of paper with your name and the name of the assignment labeled on it, and take a picture of that on your phone. That is another way to finish your assignment, finish your work. So either online, on a printed worksheet, or on a blank piece of paper that you clearly label with the assignment name and the questions that you're answering. So once you get it all ready and filled out, once you're ready to turn it in, there are 3 main ways that you can turn it in. If you did it online, then just submitting the Google form or turning in the Google Doc on the Google Classroom will turn it in to me and let me know that you finished it. You can also attach that picture that you took of your paper assignment to the assignment on Google Classroom. So there's a little place where you can attach an image and turn it in. That's one way to do it. If you want to email me a picture of your work, you're more than welcome to do that as well to my email, michael.stanley@goodwillexcel.org. And you can also text a picture of your work to my work phone number, 512-531-5457. So however you complete it, there are multiple ways that you can turn it in, either directly on the Google Classroom or emailing it to me or texting a picture of it to me. All of those are totally fine, totally valid ways of getting your work turned in. I'll show you, in case you haven't seen them before, in a few minutes, I'll show you some examples of what the Google form or the Google Doc look like when you're working on it on the Google Classroom. All right, does anybody have any questions about completing work, turning in work, using the Google Classroom, anything like that so far?
No.
No.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so in Biology A, there are a couple different kind of major topics that we're hopefully going to make it through by the end of the school year. Usually we'd start out with some scientific method type stuff, but because we have the short first week this term, we're not going to quite get to that. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is ecology, which has to do with how organisms interact with each other. We're going to be talking about energy flow, like food webs. We're going to be talking about different relationships organisms have with each other. We're going to be talking about how ecosystems kind of change over decades and centuries from one form into another. All sorts of different kind of big scale ideas of how these living things interact with each other. We're then going to go in the opposite direction and shrink it down to the really microscopic level and talk about sort of the building blocks for organisms, for plants and animals. What are the different pieces that go into making a living thing? We're then going to talk about a whole lot about cells, what they are built out of, what are some of the major processes that happen in a cell, how are cells different from viruses, what are the different kind of basic types of cells, all sorts of good stuff like that. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about some energy conversion. So how do we make energy inside of our cells? What are the different ways that plants and animals make energy? And then maybe if we have some time at the end, we'll get into a little bit of some of the major body systems around a human body. And mitosis and meiosis are how we take cells and split them up and make them into new cells. So how much of this we're going to cover in the next 7 weeks or so, I don't know. This is the first time that I'm teaching Biology A online, but hopefully we'll be able to touch on at least a major part of a lot of those subjects. All right, so that was sort of a basic overview of some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about in Biology A. So one of the last things that I wanted to show you, kind of give you guys a sneak preview for being here and logging on to the class, is that Biology A is a night class, which means that we have Monday to Thursday school. So there's no more assignments after today. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing new will be posted. But then your next daily assignment will be posted on Monday. And it is in the form of a syllabus quiz. So a really basic quiz going over kind of the major policies that we talked about today. So you can either go back and look at the notes, or like it suggests, go and look at our syllabus. So the syllabus is basically just a document that has in writing a lot of the policies and procedures that I talked about with you guys tonight. There we go. And so it's got some basic information about me and the class up here at the top. And then it has some information about our Google Classroom. It has some reminders about when we're meeting as a class and the attendance policies about the 80% doing your daily attendance work and good stuff like that. It has an overview of how to complete and turn in your work through the Google Classroom or doing it on your own paper, and where you can turn that in. And then finally, it has a little section here at the end about grades. So this I do want to mention since it wasn't in that presentation earlier. So you will see me posting your grades on the Google Classroom. So as you turn stuff in, within a couple days, I'll look at it, assign you a grade, probably post a message telling you, hey, this stuff you did really well on. You missed these couple questions, here's the right answer, that sort of thing. The one thing I do want to point out is that your Google Classroom grade is not your official final class grade. It's sort of like a rough draft that helps me keep track of who's turned in what and what grade you got on it. But your final official grade will be posted on Skyward. So if you want to know what grade you currently have in the class, then you can't really calculate it on the Google Classroom. You'll have to look at your grade in Skyward. Again, if you haven't logged into Skyward before and you need help, or you don't remember your Skyward password, reach out to your life coach and they can help you get set up in that. It's a really great resource because it allows you to track your schedule, your grades for all your classes, and your attendance for all your classes. So that is where the syllabus is posted. And you can go back and look at that if you need help answering some of the questions on the syllabus quiz that's going to be posted on Monday. So just to kind of show you guys a little bit of the differences in the versions. If you do the Google Doc version, then it's set up as if you got a sheet of paper here in class. And so you treat it just like any document or any paper, where under each question, you can start typing in your answers. The nice thing about the Google Doc is that once you've typed in all of your answers, you can then go back to the Google Classroom assignment and click Turn It In, and it'll automatically turn in your assignment with all your answers attached for me to take a look at. The other version that you can do is the Google Form version. This is the one that a lot of people prefer because it's a little bit easier to answer the questions, and it works a lot better if you're using your phone to do your homework. So it's the setup exact same questions as the Google Doc version, just in a little bit different format, but it's the same idea where you have questions and then you can fill in your answers in those questions. And then once you've filled in all of your answers, you click the submit button down here. As soon as you hit that submit button, two things will happen. It'll send an email to me saying that Osman has turned in his syllabus quiz, and I can go through that and see what answers you put down. It'll also send an email to you saying, hey, Osman, here's all the answers that you filled in for the syllabus quiz, which is nice because it means, A, if you want to go back and compare your answers to what I tell you the correct answers are, if you missed a couple, it makes it really easy to do that. Also, it's a nice backup in case something weird happens with the Google Forms and I can't see what your answers are, or it's not telling me you turned something in. You have that form in your email as a backup you can show me in case I need to take a look at it. The one downside of using the Google form is that when you hit this submit button, what it does not do is tell the Google Classroom that you turned in the work. So you have to go back to the Google Classroom and manually hit the turned in button. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Like I said, I will get the notification in my Gmail that you turned in the work, and I can go in and look at it. But if you want to keep track of what you've turned in and what you haven't, or some people just don't like it when it says missing in there and they want it to show that it was turned in, after you submit it, you can go in and just click on the turn in button. You won't actually be turning anything in on the classroom, but you're just marking it as completed for you to see and for me to see. So if you do the Google form version, it doesn't automatically update the Google Classroom. You have to go in and do that yourself. So those are the main ways that people like to submit their work online. Like I said, if you rather do pen and paper style, you can always take a picture of your work and then email me or text it to me or upload it directly onto the Google Classroom yourself. Again, every single day, a new daily assignment gets posted. It'll be posted right at the beginning of the day, like 12:01 a.m. And then you have until the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. to turn in that daily assignment and get your attendance credit for working on biology work on that day. All right. Does anybody have any final questions about attendance, submitting assignments, getting stuff turned in, checking your email or Google Classroom? Any final questions about any of that?
No.
All right. Doesn't look like it. And again, it looks like this is not the first time that you've gone through this process. So hopefully it should be pretty easy and similar to what you've done before. So that's all that I have for you guys tonight. Like I said, pretty short and simple class period. If you ever